thinking about getting a Beetle. A great choice. Ah, Beetles, America's dodge. They're always on the Joe, ready to challenge you to a game of tug of war. They may be known for their happy-go-lucky demeanor, but these little guys have a gift for mischief. They change up the iceberg's lettuce in your garden. Beetles, Gus jet one already.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
Would you like to see my passwords? I feel like everyone's always looking at my passwords. You just never know. My passwords are always, everybody can see passwords.
Two
I'm just worried. Everybody should be worried.
Immediate left, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o.
Hey-o.
Oh, hey, the Beagles got me weird.
Okay.
Go on.
And last but not least, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. I thought you were accusing us of like spying or leaning over and looking at your laptop.
Well, no, I wouldn't care.
You just mean...
I'll show you my passwords.
I
just mean the collective, the ether.
Internet. Yeah, ether.
We're always sharing our screens, presenting our screens. Don't listen to me.
Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Get those likes up. Comment away and subscribe if you haven't already. And send in your questions and comments to nodunks@theathletic.com. Best way to email them in or tweet them in at nodunksInc, INC on the end. We're going to hit the beach today. Some great tweets sent in yesterday, so we got 4 or 5 fun questions to tackle. Before we get into last night's games, could I do a little errors and omissions from yesterday's podcast?
Let's go.
I know we were fact-checking our ass off at the end of yesterday's show.
There's more?
Yeah, there's more. I got shooed hard. I said, when we were talking about Donovan Mitchell scoring 71, I said, wow, actually that Cavs comeback, it was a 21-point comeback. That was the largest of the NBA season. I threw that out there. I had read that on NBC Sports Chicago. And so I thought it was true. And I didn't fact check it myself. You know, Shu said, #well actually, my man. No, it's not. It's not even the second or third biggest comeback in the NBA this season. Shu tweeted it all. The Suns won a game in which they trailed by 24 this season. It was in a game where Booker went off.
Opening night, I think, for Phoenix versus Dallas,
Was
right?
it that
Like Dallas
one?
got up huge and everybody's like, oh, Phoenix, you jokers.
All right.
Your season is over already. Game 1. They came back and won. I do remember that one.
So the Cavs, 21-point comeback, thanks to Mitchell there, 4th biggest comeback this season. There's that. So thank you, Shu. And the other one...
There's more?
Well, yeah. People in the YouTube comments corrected me on this one. I was saying Mitchell became the 6th player in NBA history to score 70-plus points in a game. I listed Wilt, Kobe, David Thompson, Elgin Baylor, and Devin Booker as the other 70-point club members. I missed David Robinson. And I saw that in multiple spots, actually, where people forgot David Robinson on this 70-point club list. So, yeah, he went for 71 in the final game of the 94 regular season.
Won in the scoring title. Yes,
yeah.
yes,
So there
indeed.
you go. So David Robinson and David Thompson.
Okay, you want to keep fact checking?
Let's do it.
I said Luka Doncic had 250, 50, and 50. People came at me and said, no, it's 228. It was just the wrong games. He did have a 250, 50, 50, but it was the 5 previous games minus that one game. So it's still there. Also,
You're fact-checking the fact-checkers.
yeah, I'm fact-checking the fact-checkers who fact-checked me. Also, check the facts. The last 2-minute report came out for Bulls versus Cavs, and you guessed it, it's a lane violation.
Yeah.
Obvious lane violation. Donovan Mitchell scored 56 points.
Well,
I'm glad there was a lane violation. Because if the refs called that, that would be a violation on the refs.
They called 2.
You called that at the last.
2 on Alex Caruso that game.
They did.
2. Missed the biggest one of the game, though. Tony Brothers, too exciting.
I liked it.
Yeah, he wanted a close
Yeah,
game.
he wanted a close game.
Something else we said on yesterday's podcast came true last night. I said, somebody's going for 50 again. Just look at last night's schedule.
There we go.
Pick somebody in one of those games. Pick a superstar, and they're going for 50. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah, Skeets-o-Damas. Giannis dropped a career high. 55 points as the Bucks, led by Giannis there, stopped the surging Wizards, snapped their 5-game win streak. We had a blast watching this one on playback last night. Thanks to everybody that joined us. But wow, what a performance from this guy.
We watched Giannis score 55. Kind of surprising that his career high was only 52. Maybe it's because everybody's dropping 50 these days. Maybe because He dropped 50 to punctuate an NBA Finals championship in Game 6, so you'd think that in a regular season he'd drop more than 52 is what he had prior to this game. Mm-hmm. But it felt clear to me, all this love going around for Donovan Mitchell and Luka and even Jokic, and Giannis wanted to say hello. He was pretty demonstrative.
He was.
And the end of the fourth quarter there to get to 50, to get to 55, I think it was a where are my flowers situation.
Don't forget about me?
Yeah, a bit. Puineta luludiamu in Greek.
Nice.
JD, you good with that?
What?
JD knows Greek. He knew exactly what I was saying. What? I had to think about it for a second. What luludia mean? What flowers?
Where are my flowers?
Yeah, bang.
Hey, are
bang.
any of your passwords in Greek?
Yes. Got me. Anyway, so there are so many damn people at the MVP table. Mm-hmm. And I think Giannis could be a default pick for people because he's sort of a default type of guy with basically because if you got to split hairs, there's so many guys who are just off the charts right now.
Yeah.
I think he could be a default pick when it comes to the end of the season for voters because there's just flaws in some other guys' cases, and there's guys who are there for the first time like Luka and Tatum, and I think Giannis just could be a default pick. I think there's two defaults when it comes to MVP picking. It's probably going to be a 1 seed. I think it's going to be somebody up high in the standings after what Jokic did last year. And I think you might just go, all right, there's so many guys here. I'm going to go with somebody who's won it before. And you could say that Jokic is the default guy, but...
Or Durant?
Yeah, but that's way back then. Yeah, it's a little... Okay, Durant's fine. but Giannis... No, I think there's a difference. I think there's a difference between Jokic, because he just won it. So that's listen, we're splitting hairs. Yeah. So I think that's a tiny little, a notch against him and Durant way back then. And Giannis just could be this. It just could be the default pick for voters. I'm saying he's tied with Luka in terms of 40-point games this season, which doesn't seem right. They both have 8 40-point games this season. It just doesn't. It seems with all the hype, it goes to Luka. So I'm just saying the hype train is with everybody up top, and I think. When we're talking about MVPs, I think Giannis could get it because he's the horse that keeps coming. I know Jokic loves horses, but Giannis is the horse that is there every single night, and he's overlooked. So they might just say, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, that's the guy. But they have to finish high in the standings, and that ain't happening right now. Maybe he's having to do a little too much, and we can get to that.
Yeah, 55 points, 20 of 33 shooting, 15 of 16 at the line, 10 boards, 7 assists. It was sort of laughable watching this one back. We were watching on playback, but there's a lot going on. We're bringing people in, talking to them. But, man, just the pairing of athleticism with the physicality of this guy, just going sort of, he takes one step around the guy and then just throws his body. Kuzma, Gafford, Porzingis, it doesn't matter. I mean, really anybody in the league just goes bouncing back, and you're forced to either foul him or he's then doing just a little finger roll over the front of the rim, time and time again. 18 of 24 in the restricted area in this game.
The Wizards are just too skinny. That's what it is. They didn't have anybody with enough bulk to handle Giannis with a full head of steam, and that's kind of what happened in the fourth quarter. It's like Giannis was doing the math of what I need to do to get to 50 points here. So I'm just going to grab every rebound and bring the ball up the court every single time. Maybe there will be somebody back there to sort of challenge at the rim, try and slide under for a charge, but it didn't matter because Gafford, he's about as half as wide as Giannis is. Kristaps Porzingis, half as wide as Giannis is. It didn't matter. Brook Lopez had a huge game, 21 and 12. Bobby Portis, 17 and 13. The Wizards are pretty softy inside. And that's not good if you're playing against the Bucks, especially when they're missing Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday. They're going to try and score inside primarily to begin with, but on a night like last night when they didn't have their perimeter stars out there, it was on Giannis to keep scoring and scoring and scoring in the lane. He went 0 for 3 from three-point line. He did bank in one. He had 47 points, took a 3 because he wanted the 50, banked it in. But a timeout had been called, so it did not count. So the jumper wasn't there. The free throws were, and obviously nobody on the Wizards could handle that guy.
So the taunt of this season has been too small, right? Tell everybody they're just too small, even if they're bigger than you, because you took them into the block and you scored over them. Do you think, Trey, we could start seeing guys, maybe like the Bucks, start going, too thin, you're too skinny, you're not fat enough, you ain't got the weight? Possible.
we at the very least, I think weight room should come back.
Yeah.
For the Bucks specifically, like get the muscles.
Yeah.
Giannis, that guy's jacked more than anybody.
That's true. Giannis is averaging 47.7 points per game, 17.3 rebounds per game, and 6.3 assists per game over his last 3. Now, he did miss that one game. The last one against the Wizards sat that one out. But yeah, he's putting up, he had like 45 and 20s going, and then last night he thought he'd switch it up a bit and make it a 55-10. and like the numbers are just unreal. Like they're starting to wash over me, even I'll admit, like with these 60-point triple-doubles and guys scoring 71 and stuff like this from Giannis.
Yeah. And that's why it was surprising to me that he's got as many 40-point games as Luka does, because every single number that he throws out there does wash over you. He's got the size. You can't complain if you're an oldie NBA player and say, oh, there's no physicality in the game anymore. This guy just throws, like you said, his shoulder into guys. There was even a play where he spinned around Denny Avdija, and Avdija was like lost. He was like 2 steps behind, not because of his size, but because of his speed.
Yeah,
so the combination is ridiculous. I did bring up whether or not Giannis is doing a little too much, and I know you've talked about whether they could just use a guy to create a little bit more.
Yeah, a little wing help, I think.
Yeah, just to score more. Obviously, Middleton hasn't been around. 8 straight games he's out. Is that worrisome for the Bucks? Because he didn't start the season. Obviously, he was out for the playoffs. He came back. He's out. I guess if you're looking rose-colored glasses, similar thing, I should say, happened to Brook Lopez last year, where he missed almost 70 games to start the season and then came back in the playoffs and was fine. So hopefully Middleton can come back, and then they are totally fine. But Drew Holiday coming off the bench in this one wasn't awesome. So it just feels like he's doing a little too much. It does feel like it's sustainable because it's Giannis Antetokounmpo and he fought through an injury to win a title. But at the same time, he could use some help, and the guys around him are older, and that's the worrisome part to some degree. I'm banking on Joe Ingles being good. He's 35, so Middleton is huge for them.
Bradley Beal, he did return to this game last night from the Wizards side of things. He had missed the 3 games prior with the hamstring, and then he left because of the hamstring issue. In this one, had 8 points before he didn't play in the rest of the second half. And so that's a lingering thing here, and he sounded frustrated. He even dropped the usually one of my best abilities is availability.
Ooh.
And
he said that?
He said that. And he's struggling with that because he's trying to play through this injury, and then it flares up, and we'll get to Zion a little bit later in this show with his hamstring injury.
Right. I did a Control F. I see it on The Athletic. It's frustrating. I always preach your best ability is availability. Your best ability is your availability. Bradley Beal misses games.
A lot.
I know.
A lot. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating to hear him say that. But no answer for the Greek Freak. Nobody does.
What about the dunk? What about the Giannis?
No, the missed dunk?
The missed dunk was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was on Gafford, right? It was. He was about to put him in the coffin here. I think Giannis said that he, and I agree with him, that he jumped almost too high. Like, because he just doinks it off the back of the rim. He's like, look off where he takes off first off. Oh, man.
And it went in and out.
Yeah.
He took off from the...
he was like, that would have been a good one. I would have been on House of Highlights. He talked about that, too. He said his wife told him, you're never on House of Highlights anymore. You never have any cool dunks.
That was on House of Highlights.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah, it literally was.
And he had a sick windmill, too. He threw that one down.
Hot take, I prefer a made dunk.
I
think the windmill was better than the missed dunk. He made it.
What do you think?
I agree. I agree. But he was like he's not usually a showboater, that type of guy to play up to the crowd a lot. And there was more of that last night.
Oh, yeah. I agree 100% with you. He wanted to let the league remind the league that I can go for 50 too.
Yeah.
I can do 50. He was doing a lot of this.
We were prancing.
He was prancing. Yeah, like a deer move or something.
Oh, a buck.
Yeah. And he was pointing at Milwaukee and all that on the chest. Yeah, he was fired up last night.
He was going for it, I guess.
He had a night off the game before.
I guess Mariah's his wife's words got to him.
Yeah.
He wanted it. He wanted it bad. That was fun to watch.
Let's move to the other game last night. De'Aaron Fox scored 37 points, huge in the fourth, bucket after bucket, lifted the Kings past the Jazz. 117-115. Lauri Markkanen hit a long jumper. Was it a 2? Was it a 3? It didn't
Where's
really
the home
matter.
cooking? Where's the home cooking?
Yeah.
Start the clock late. They started on time.
They counted it, then they looked at it, and it was reversed upon replay that it was still on the fingertips
It was,
there.
yeah.
I mean, incredible shot, but with the circumstances there and how much time was left. But the Jazz dropped their 5th straight game with the 5 losses by a combined 15 points.
It's tough.
Wow, that's tough.
That's tough.
That is tough. They've lost by 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, and 5 points. Not in chronological order like that, but
Nice.
ooh. But yeah, I don't know if you want to start with Fox and the Kings win, and lighten the beam, and them continuing to, pull some of these out. He was awesome. 22 of his 37 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and he was helped out, I think, by being guarded by Jordan Clarkson quite a bit.
He just left him a couple times.
The dunk was crazy. That was maybe the worst gamble you'll see on the perimeter in the NBA this season. Just going for a steal, not even close. Cleared the lane for Fox to go up for a dunk. But then it was like the same thing kept happening. Next time it was he blew by Clarkson again, finished at the hoop. Then he blew by Markkanen, hit the jumper to win it there. So Fox was just, they didn't have anybody to stay in front of him. The Jazz really don't play defense. They were pretty good with regards to attention to detail early in the season. They're just losing it a little bit here. I think Will Hardy said that there's one possession in each of these last 5 games that if it flips the other way, they're on a 5-game winning streak. That's how close these games are for the Jazz right now. But great performance for Fox, and another great performance for Domantas Sabonis as well. This guy's unstoppable right now. Walker Kessler, great shot blocker, and he just ate him up. He was inside his body the entire time, looking like a man versus a boy out there. He's also playing through a broken thumb, right?
Yes, he is.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
At one point, he made 17 straight shots with a broken thumb.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he dominated inside. The Jazz couldn't deal with him. That was probably the biggest factor. They just have such a slim margin of error. Like you said, one play goes the other way. They get one rebound on Friday night where they gave 3 chances to the opposing team to hit a shot. Kings, same thing happened to them here last night. They had the hero game winner also on the weekend. And it was wild. Those 3 possessions in the last minute, De'Aaron Fox just went off. The dunk, the mid-ranger, and then the layup when he went right past Markkanen. Markkanen did everything he could. He was ISO'd, a 7-footer ISO'd on
one of the fastest guys in the league.
slower.
Yeah.
Markkanen was there at the rim. He tracked him from the 3-point line to the rim. This was 4 seconds left for the game winner. He was there. I was surprised Kelly Olynyk didn't come over to help, but I guess he wanted to stick with Domantas Sabonis. That's the plan. But you just can't do that. Although this is interesting between these two teams. It may come down to one of these 2 guys not getting to the All-Star game, whether it's Fox, whoever the King representative is.
Yeah, one is going to be
King.
there, but it is a tough question. Is it Sabonis or Fox or maybe both of them?
Yeah. Or Markkanen. Like it was some Markkanen could lose out because a King goes there. Markkanen through this 5-game win streak, 30 points per game. He has not stopped this season. He ain't Andrea Bargnani. Andrea Bargnani's All-Star case stopped, I believe, at like 28.
Right when we started talking about it, I remember.
So it's still going. It would suck if he doesn't make it, and this 5-game losing streak, even though it's this slim, could play a part because it's tough. It's tough in the West, and the Kings guys are very deserving.
Yeah, absolutely. The Kings here, too. This is their 20th win of the season. What game do you think it took last season for them to get to their 20th victory?
69.
Great.
Nice.
Nice.
55.
Okay.
Yeah, so not too bad, I guess, when you put it in that perspective. But yeah, so they're already 20-16 here and pulling some of these out. And this was on a night where, like, their bench did nothing. Like, Malik Monk had a rough night. Rashawn Holmes gave him a couple turnovers and a couple fouls in very limited minutes. But it didn't matter when Fox took over and Sabonis. I mean, it feels like both of those guys are deserving. But you got to go start going through all the rosters, and you're like, I don't know. Does somebody get squeezed? And do they cannibalize each other's votes a little bit from some of the coaches? I mean, they're not starting either of them. It'd be a selection, but no. They're both playing at obviously an all-star level, and it helps that they're at least one of the, they're a top, 6 team in the Western Conference?
Right now, for sure.
It's amazing. Anything else on that one? They've played some entertaining games, the Kings and Jazz. This is their second one in a row that was, basically down to the wire. Mm-hmm. Fun matchup. Next game, this one won't take long. The Thunder blew out the Celtics 150-117 with no SGA. Everybody scored for the Thunder. I mean, everybody was scoring over 20 points and shooting over 50% from the floor. And Marcus Smart eventually gets tossed. He's tired of getting his ass handed to him by this scrappy little Thunder team here who just couldn't miss last night. What did you see from this one? Well, and maybe rewatching it this morning or the condensed game or whatever.
Yeah, before I watched it, I wanted to harp on the Celtics for sure. I wanted to say, what is going on? After that performance on New Year's Day against the Denver Nuggets, right, where they didn't hit the Nuggets. They didn't come out physically, and Jaylen Brown said maybe it was New Year's celebrations. We just weren't physical on the perimeter, and they got to the rim. Championship teams just don't lose 2 games in a row like that. But even though I started with the Celtics, I'm going to start with the Thunder. I thought maybe the Celtics thought, looking on the other side, that team is tiny. They started basically 6'5" guys across the front line.
OKC.
Yeah.
They went real small.
Other than Jalen Williams, J-Dub's hair, as they call him, which makes him 6'9", 6'10". I mean, they're really, the front line was like 6'5", 6'6". Their biggest player is point guard and Josh Giddey. So maybe they thought, we don't have to be physical. We don't have to protect the rim, but that's exactly what happened. OKC was so athletic at getting to the rim over and over and over again. Boston just didn't help. They just did not help whatsoever. And there just wasn't anything at the rim. That second quarter was where it got blown open. It was a 40-point OKC second quarter, and then 48 in the third quarter as they continued on. I mentioned J-Dub.
Oh,
so fun to watch.
I love this guy. He's fun.
Great personality.
Yeah.
So much bounce. Trey Mann's got the wiggle to get to the rim as their sixth man last night.
Isaiah Joe can't miss a 3 right now.
Yeah.
He's on fire. He's 50 of his 68 field goals this year are 3-pointers.
Sixers just let him go.
Where did you come from? Where did you go?
That's a good call. Yeah, the Sixers did let him go.
Let him go.
And
they needed shooters for like 6 seasons straight. They just let him go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we know going into OKC is not an easy win. We as basketball sickos, we know that. They're 16-21. They got a winning record at home. They're really, really solid at home. Mm-hmm. I probably shouldn't have said yesterday on playback, I said we were talking about relegation and teams like OKC who are solid. And I said they're one of the worst teams in the NBA. I mean, they're really good in a way. They can't win games, but they have so much talent across the board. They are so fun to watch. And the Celtics, I'm surprised they took them lightly. I know Shea wasn't in the lineup, but I'm surprised. 2 games in a row that would happen.
Yeah, I saw Adam Taylor, NBA, tweeting that the Celtics have played 8 road games against Western Conference teams this year, and they're 500. So not too bad, right? 4-4 on the road against the West, which is pretty loaded. They started with 2 wins in November against Memphis and New Orleans. Great wins. Then they won in Phoenix. But then they lost their next 2 of 3 in California. But it was a tough part of their schedule. It was one of those 3 games in 4 nights. They lost to the Warriors. They lost to the Clippers. They did beat the Lakers. But now you said here in 23 tests where they've lost to the Denver Nuggets. And then this spank job here from OKC, which is the surprising one, giving up 150 points. So again, 4-4 in those 8 road games against the West. But they're in a little strange little funk. Yeah. Part of the season. It happens to all the good teams, and I don't think anyone's going to overreact.
Yeah. I'm not going to overreact, but this is more than just 2 straight losses. This is 3 losing streaks in the last month. A 2-game losing streak, then a 3-game losing streak, and now another 2-game losing streak.
Oh, that's a losing streak? Losing 2 in a row?
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's just they've never been the favorite in a regular season, and maybe that's affecting them to some degree. They've never been a number 1 seed this way. I think it is something to worry about to some degree. I don't think champs don't do this often.
Okay. Any other thoughts on this game or the Celtics or the Thunder?
What do I got thoughts-wise? I'm personally not worried at all for the Celtics. I think they're just totally bored right now. They blew the doors off the league for the first month and a half of the season. Started, 22-5. Could not miss a 3. Now they're struggling to miss 3s. I think it was Malcolm Brogdon said, we saw that Shea wasn't going to play and took a big deep breath and relaxed, and we shouldn't have done that. It looked like the Celtics at the start of last season where they thought they could just get by on talent, and obviously you can't just get by on talent. You got to play out there, and the Thunder came out and took it to them. The losses against the Clippers and the Warriors, the close game against the Lakers, that was without all of their starting front court, right? Horford was missing, Robert Williams hadn't come back yet. They were reasons for that. Like, they went as far as they could go with Grant Williams and Blake Griffin playing huge minutes. So, I don't know. To me, it's just this is kind of one of the down times of the season. December into January, things start getting really weird. You see a lot of weird blowouts when it still seems like it's early in the season, but some teams have actually gotten bad, so some teams are slacking, and I think that's what is catching up to the Celtics right now. They think we are a team that went to the finals last year. We've proven ourselves as one of the best teams in the league, so we should be able to come in and just push over a team like the Thunder. You still got to play. Yeah. Every team is good now.
Yeah, I mean, OKC is now 16-21, which is the exact same record as our Bulls and our Raptors, same as the Lakers, probably one game behind the Wolves. I mean, they have sort of proven, at least this season, OKC has, that they're not one of the worst teams. They're not those teams with 10 or 11 wins. They're a tiny step up and, are knocking on a play-in, trying to chase Utah for a potential 10 seed. So, yeah, they've been really fun to watch, and a tough team to play, like you said, in the old, Paycom Center?
Is that what it is?
It's got a big-ass logo on the floor. I think it's Paycom, yeah.
It's the Chesapeake to me.
But, Paycom Center.
It's Paycom. It's huge. Those are the biggest logos on the floor, I'm telling you.
Paycom Center.
Massive.
Saw a guy made a half-court shot, though.
Yeah, $20K he got.
He knew he was going to make it.
He was
like looking dead in the eyes of the announcer. He's like, let's go. Give me the shot already.
And he swished that damn thing.
Walked off. That was pretty smooth.
That was smooth, man. Respect to that guy. Teach us your ways, man. He's wearing a hat, too, wasn't he?
Wearing a hat. Pretty impressive. Didn't even go backwards.
Yeah, that's awesome. $20K. Well, the Paycom. Living up to its name.
Was there a 5K in Utah last night, or am I just imagining this?
They said something about it on the broadcast.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, they're like, if you're wondering why the fans are celebrating, somebody just won $5,000.
It must have been not a half court then. Maybe it was one of those.
Yeah, maybe I was
imagining. Hit a free throw, hit a thing. I don't know. Somebody tell us in the stream team. Got some injury news to talk about. Tass, you're not going to like this.
No.
Pelican star Zion Williamson. He's going to miss at least 3 weeks with a right hamstring strain sustained in Monday's loss to the 76ers. That's the one where he no contact, pulls up, starts limping off, didn't return to that game. We thought, hopefully nothing serious. This is serious enough, especially with a guy like Zion. What do you think here?
Ooh, I think that my NBA watching it's hurt right now because I think he was my favorite player to watch over the first couple months because since we started this show a very long time ago, anniversary coming up though. For the
17th anniversary, right around the corner, boys. Get the cakes and the champagne.
I don't think, and this isn't just hyperbole, I've never seen a Zion since we started the show or even before. I know we've had a Shacker, we've had a Barkleyer, but we haven't had a Zion. Zion's different. This dude in the last month, 29 and a half, 7 boards, 5 assists. That's Barkley assisted, but this guy is 5 assists. He's a point guard out there. He's been my favorite player to watch, so it sucks. And you can't rush him back. We just saw what happened with Bradley Beal. And what's going to happen if during this rehab? It's going to take a while. He can't run, I suppose, on hamstring. So I think this just hurts their postseason chances as well. They haven't played a lot together with their starting lineups at all, and so I've thought of them as a potential bubble team to be able to get to the finals. Maybe you can sneak in if things really fall right for them. But if you have another month here in January leading up to the trade deadline, which is another thing we can talk about, I think it hurts their playoff chances. I think that's where they just won't have any chemistry, really any chemistry. They've only played 10 games together.
Their projected starting lineup, McCollum, Herb Jones, Ingram, Zion, and JV, only 10 games together. Now, the good news is they're 6-2 without Zion this year. This is like now his 4th different injury this season. No, he played a lot. He's played 29 of 37 games, but he missed a couple with that lower back, hip contusion after that hard fall against the Jazz, I think it was. And then he missed 3 games with a right foot contusion. Then he got sick. Health and safety protocols, so not really an injury. And then now this one here with the hamstring. TK, can the Pelicans, hopefully getting Ingram back somewhat soon, can they stay around the top of the Western Conference standings, or are we going to see them have a bad week 2 or 3 here and start to slide down? Doesn't take much.
Yeah, it doesn't take much, and the standings are super tight, but I think they can, at the very least, stay in the 7 to 8 range at the absolute worst, especially if Brandon Ingram comes back. There were reports over the weekend that he could be coming back tonight. I guess we'll figure that out as the day goes on. But the Pelicans are a really, really deep team, so, as long as they're able to get one of one of these two back in Zion and Ingram, I think they can probably tread water, play at about 500, maybe win some cool clutch games or something like that as the season goes on and stay in the mix. But the problem is they're not going to be the team we want to see in the playoffs, because I agree with Tass. Like, you need to have Ingram and Zion on the court together to figure out who's handling the ball, especially when you consider CJ McCollum, a high-usage guy as well. They just need to figure out how the three of them are going to fit together and make each other better, rather than it being your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn, which is probably what it's going to have to end up being for this season, because they just won't have a chance really to build the chemistry. Not to mention, it's 3 weeks, then reevaluate. Like, this could get pushed longer and longer, and they're going to be obviously very careful with Zion, because you don't want him to come back and then have to leave, come back, then have to leave. Takes a little wind out of the sails for the Pelicans, no doubt.
Yeah. How many games have Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram even played together in their career? It's not a ton. Obviously, with Zion missing all of last season, and I'm sure there was some the year before that, but not a ton this year. Yeah, I'm with you guys. That's a concern when you get to the playoffs. Those reps, like those regular season reps with your sort of squad. But they are a deep team. They're sort of, if any team can sort of handle these unfortunate injuries, it's them, just because they have a lot of good guys on that bench that get more opportunity.
4-1 without Zion and Brandon.
Yeah.
Which is surprising, but they are really deep. And maybe they can still achieve just having some playoff experience. Like, Trey doesn't really think that they can go deep into the postseason because they've never been there before. So at least they're, if they take their time with Zion, they can at least do that. They can at least go get reps with a healthy Zion. I know Zion's really angry. Will Guillory of The Athletic, as their beat writer, continuously says, Zion just wants to be on the floor. He said, I missed so much time last year. I want to go out there. But I think they're going to have to hold him back. And I think they're going to have to hold President of Basketball Operations David Griffin back from making a trade, because David Griffin, he likes to wheel and deal. And I think I don't think really anything would stop him from trading anybody. But I think with the trade deadline 5 weeks away, even with a hurt Zion, I still think he wants to make a deal. Just still go for it. And they have so many parts. Maybe you don't have to hold him back. Maybe you can trade everything. He's going to trade whatever he wants. But I don't. Nothing is nailed down with the Pelicans. I think he could deal so many players from that roster, and I think he might. I think he might still see an opportunity to go for it here. 5 weeks, boys.
What does this mean for Zion Williamson in the All-Star game?
That's a good question.
They're going to hold him out of that if he is either voted in or selected. Probably deserving. Maybe it opens up a spot for. It's enough time away. It's
he can still play.
5 or 6 weeks away.
Yeah. 6, yeah.
But then again, reassessed after 3 weeks, and do they really want him? Maybe he might get selected and then just not play in the game. That could happen.
Sure,
that'd be disappointing, but we'll see. It's enough time away. All right, let's take our first break. When we come back, we'll hit the beach and read some of your tweets.
New year, new goals, and Factor is back in the Classic Factory to help you achieve each and every one of them. The goals. That's what you're achieving. With Factor, you can save time and have the energy you need to tackle everything on your to-do list with ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. With Factor, not only can you skip the trip to the grocery store, but you can also skip the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up too. If you gave up chopping, prepping, and cleaning for New Year's, A, that's twisted. But B, it's also perfect because Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat and enjoy. With 34 chef-prepared, dietitian-approved weekly options, there's always something new to try. No matter what your lifestyle, Factor has the meals to help you live it to the fullest with keto, calorie smart, vegan and veggie, and protein plus meals on the menu each week. Plus, you can round out your meal and replenish your snack supply with an assortment of 36 plus quick bites, smoothies, juices, and more satisfying add-ons. Get America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit and start saving time, eating well, and living your best year ever. Head to factor75.com/NoDunk60. Use code NoDunk60 to get 60% off your first box. That's code NoDunk60 at factor75.com/NoDunk60 to get 60% off your first box.
You didn't give up numbers. For New Year's. No, a lot of numbers.
He loves numbers.
Numbers.
New year, new you. We've heard it before. We just heard it in your ad read. No, but we've heard this before, right? Like, this is the year I'm going to get into the gym. Or this is the year I'm going to get into the pool, start swimming again. Or this is the year I'm going to try parkour. No, you're not. You're not doing parkour. You can barely walk. You ain't jumping from a metal railing to a cement block, right? You can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't.
You cannot do that.
My point is, it's hard to stick with fitness goals after that initial burst of motivation when you get into the new year there. I read that 1 out of 4 people quit their New Year's resolution within the first week.
I believe it.
Not month, not half a year. First week, 1 out of 4 like, nah, so much for that New Year's resolution. It's tough, because if it wasn't, you'd already be doing it, right? But I'm going to tell you what can help. Your chances of seeing those fitness resolutions through until success. Peloton, baby! Now, everyone knows Peloton makes bikes, but they're so much more than that. They also make treadmills, and they have tons of classes. Yoga, strength training, HIIT.
Oh, high intensity interval training?
Boxing, they got it all. Peloton instructors have a variety of different training backgrounds and styles of motivation that work for people of all fitness levels. They can get you moving, whether that's a 10-minute power walk or a 30-minute endurance ride. My favorite part, work out when it works for you, right? Peloton offers thousands of on-demand classes available 24/7. That means you can work out whenever and wherever it's convenient for you. And hey, are you a Grant Hill? Do you like music?
I do like music.
Yeah, good, because nothing gets you moving like the perfect song. Peloton has the best playlists, whether you're looking for EDM, 90s pop, something soulful maybe. Peloton has music to fit your mood. I've said that before. I like slow jams to run to. You would think you need like that high, energetic music, but no, find a groove.
That's when you stop. When it's too fast and you burst out of the gate and then you're dead.
Groove going, get your rhythm going. You don't have to be a super athlete to enjoy Peloton because there are classes for every level. Whether you exercise daily or you're new to working out, Peloton can help you achieve your fitness goals. So try Peloton risk-free with a 30-day home trial. That's for new members only. It's not available in remote locations, so what you gotta do is move your family to an urban area and then get working out. See additional terms at onepeloton.com/home-trial. onepeloton.com/home-trial. All right, back in the Classic Factory. I'm taking Cooper's word here in the stream team, but apparently that 5K that was won at the Jazz game last night was a putting game. Yeah, not a half-court shot or even like a layup, free throw, three-pointer type thing. Putting.
Like what, a 10-footer?
Cooper?
Too short?
Let's go, Coop.
Yeah, or my guess, because I've seen these before, these like little games, like the...
They do it on the floor, right?
Yeah, like the whole,
Take a
like
chance
the whole
of a
thing
divot
or something.
in the floor.
Yeah, no. You gotta get very lucky.
Like the length of the floor, you're saying?
Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
20 plus feet. Okay, so that's not the length of the floor.
It's a putt.
It's a putt. It's a putt on hardwood. Not easy. But Steph Curry could do it in his sleep.
Yeah, Steph probably does it pregame. He doesn't get ripped like DeAndre Ayton does pregame.
Nope.
But you know those ones where you like use I think it's usually a hockey stick where you shoot it the length of the floor into a small little hole type thing.
Yep.
Those are fun. Can't wait for the NHL All-Star Game Challenge, Skills Challenge, whatever it's called, on Saturday. Remember last year they did it in the Bellagio.
Oh, yeah.
Fountain.
Oh,
Yeah.
What a blast.
Oh, yeah.
It's rivaling NBA Saturday night.
How dare you?
Yep. It's good. You should watch it. It's so good. I love it.
All right, enough ice talk. Let's get to the beach, JD. Let's do
it. We're watching it on playback. The NHL skills competition.
Oh, we are? I want to watch the Royal Rumble with you guys on playback.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
That'd be fun.
I want to take a picture with a bunch of Montreal Canadiens moms with you guys on playback.
Oh, shout out to Alex Ovechkin. We were looking up the ages last night of Ovechkin. Only 37. Thought he was way older.
Much older, seeming.
And then Jaromir Jagr.
Yep.
50. Still playing in a Czech league. Scored.
Getting buckets.
Yeah. All right, we're on the beach. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. We are answering your questions and comments. A lot of these came through on Twitter yesterday, so thanks for sending them all in. First one from the Hoop Troop. Wants to know, which team is under the most pressure to make a move this deadline? Ooh. I like hearing the waves crashing up on the shore. But we're talking pressure here.
It's like the opposite of pressure.
Yeah.
Hearing the shore, the water crashing, lapping.
Who you got? Well, I mean, there's a lot of teams we could pick from, but who is under the most pressure?
I think it's the Clippers. This is year.
Wow.
They
didn't expect the Clippers, I'm being honest.
Yeah, they're middling right now. They're a mid team, and this is year 4 of the experiment. They did make a conference final, but that's it through this Paul George and Kawhi Leonard experiment, and it doesn't feel like these dudes are getting better with age. So I think they kind of have to do something. Now,
when you say do something, you mean get more talent around them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think not blow it up.
Okay.
No. But just some life support, some backstops here, because it just ain't working all that well. Now, it's going to come down to Kawhi being Kawhi. That's what it's going to come down to. But I think if you just try and do something, it's going to be hard to do something. I guess I'm thinking more internally. It just feels like this is their last gasp at this experiment of Paul George, because not only is Kawhi injured every single season, but it feels like Paul George is, and he is in and out of the lineup. So his injuries are a concern. I hate talking about injuries, but at the same time, this feels like this is year 4 of 4, and where does it go from here? Kawhi signed long-term here. I guess they're thinking still long-term, but it just feels like they got to go for it.
That's sort of their get-out-of-jail-free card, though, with this, right?
We'll try next year.
That they don't need to make a move. There's not pressure to make another trade, even though they've done moves, obviously Norman Powell and stuff like that last year. It's like, hey, if these guys play, we're awesome. But it turns out availability is an important ability. And so I don't know. That's why I was interested or surprised you took the Clippers. But I hear what you're saying.
But they're not even that awesome. That's the thing.
No, they're not that bad. When they play, they're really good. The record is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's better than their overall win percentage.
Yeah.
But what team you going with?
I'm also in LA, but I think it's the Lakers.
Yeah.
I think at this point, LeBron is basically saying, you better make some trades because I'm tired of balling out here all by myself. He's basically calling out Rob Pelinka saying, I'm not here to just be playing basketball. I'm here to be competing for championships, and the Lakers are not a championship competing team right now. They looked good when Anthony Davis was playing his absolute best. LeBron is still obviously an incredible player, but that's it. And even if it's those two guys, they would be a scary team to face in a playoff matchup, but you're probably taking most of the teams that are going to actually have home court advantage rather than a Lakers team that's going to be playing through the play-in tournament once again. Mm-hmm. It would be nice for them, I'm sure, to not have to play those extra couple of games and actually be able to prepare for a playoff series going forward. So I think with how well LeBron is playing right now and the comments that he is saying to the media, the fact that he deleted a tweet saying, I'll never miss the playoffs again, I think he's fretting a little bit here, which means there's going to be a lot of pressure put on their front office.
You would think so. I think you could pick from all these teams that have disappointed so far this season. I'm talking about my Raptors, probably the Bulls, the Hawks, the Wolves. The pressure there is from the expectations. A lot of those teams I just listed, most people thought would be very easily a 45-plus win team, probably a 50-win team in a lot of their cases. And they are like sub-500 teams that look bad on most nights. And it's like, do you need to shake it up? Is it just a coaching change in some situations? There's ways to go about it. But I'll be pretty shocked if those 4 teams I listed, at least one of them, 2 of them, don't make some move to try and turn their season around with still half a season to go.
Let's get some moves going. 36 days till the deadline. I think we should do what we thought we could have possibly been doing 11 years ago and put ourselves in a box during the lockout.
Yeah.
And until they resolve the lockout issue, we should put ourselves in a box till there's a trade.
This factory isn't that big. Yeah.
Put ourselves in a box.
This is just a big box, man, to me.
I like that.
36 days.
Wow.
So many teams to deal. So many.
I gotta be honest. I thought that feels long. I thought the deadline was like 2 weeks from now in my head. But
January is a long-ass month.
Yeah,
it's one of the longest. It's up there, tied for the longest, in fact.
A month and change till the deadline.
The Hawks is interesting, though, because they switched their GM in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Travis Schlenk resigned, and now Landry Fields is the guy making the decision. Their coach wants to quit, or he doesn't want to quit. Their players like each other. when they're away from the court, but maybe not playing on the court. It feels like the Hawks have so much to figure out in 36 days.
Yeah.
And they've been trying to figure out how to trade John Collins for 36 years, it feels like. So I don't know if Landry Fields is going to finally crack the code, but the Hawks, with the way this season is going, combined with the way last season went after going to the conference finals, something is going to have to change, which is crazy because something has changed a lot for the Hawks in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, it's a combustible situation. I think what also flew under the radar, Landry Fields took over the day-to-day operations, but they also let go of 3 other front office executives that Shams reported. Just didn't see that coming. The senior advisor, Rod Higgins, director of pro scouting, and vice president of player personnel, Stephen Giles and Derek Pierce. They really shuffled the deck.
They really shuffled it.
So
mid-season.
It feels like things are changing. But Nate is staying on. Yeah, it's tough because they could have easily beat the Warriors. They do play some good stretches, but not great
They're
stretches.
Jekyll and Hyde for sure. Next one. What do you got?
I got this. Carey says, with the Pistons, Rockets, Magic, Thunder, etc., all in rebuild mode, who do you think has the best blueprint?
Pistons, Rockets, Magic, Thunder. There is an etc. there.
Okay.
Can add some more teams. Trey, which team are you going with? Who's set up the best here, and why?
Here's my order. I'm going Thunder, Rockets, Magic, Pistons. Of these 4 teams that Carey's talking about here, I think I got the Thunder first because they got the best player in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's a great start. Jalen Williams is looking like a pretty solid guy, really good cutter. I feel like he plays sideways a lot, which is pretty strange. Rather than going north and south, he goes east-west, but it works because it's such a unique thing. Last night was different. He just went down the lane like 100 times. I think he had 4 dunks in the half court, and it was like 1 dribble moves.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything spicy, but he does a little bit of everything. A nice wing guy. Giddey seems to be a pretty solid player, but I think Shai and both Josh Giddey are going to have to get better at 3-point shooting for them to be a realistic combination of a backcourt. Shai's at 35%, Giddey's at 34%. League average, that's fine, but they barely take any threes.
Yeah.
So they got to figure that out. I think the Rockets, though, as a whole, have the best collection of talent. I think they have the makings of a big 3 in Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, and Alperen Şengün. The question for them right now is when do they move off of Kevin Porter Jr. as a starter and primary ball handler? And I think they're going to need a new coach going forward because Silas doesn't seem to necessarily realize what he has in Şengün. To my eyes, Magic, they need a point guard, but they might get 2 top 10 picks. And Detroit, it's all on Cade Cunningham's shoulders, really, and he's out for the season. They don't have any picks coming in or out, so it's going to be whoever they pick this season and whatever Cade ends up being. So I got them lowest on the totem pole, but they're doing all right.
Yeah, all 4 of them, like, in terms of rebuilding, there are pieces there, like, just to add to what you're saying. With the Magic, obviously, Paolo looks, I mean, he's won Rookie of the Year basically already and looks like the real deal and a guy you can, like, build your franchise around. I would add to the Thunder, who I would have number 1, again, in large part because of SGA being the best player on these 4 teams. They have Chet Holmgren, too.
Yeah.
They have the number 2 pick, who obviously not playing at all this season, we don't think, so he'll be there. But yeah, like with Cade and with all the Rockets' talent, they're set up here. They're like, you see it, right? That it could take another year in most cases, maybe 2, to get back into the mix. But no one's like, all 4 of those I don't go like, ooh, they're screwed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the Rockets have a lot of solid guys, and it's solid across the board, but I think the Magic and Pistons just have a touch more star power in Banchero and Cade Cunningham. So all 4 have done really well to get solid guys, and you're just looking for a star, baby. And it's interesting how the Thunder got their star when you look back. How they were able to acquire Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It wasn't even through the draft. It was through the trade via trade. It was Paul George that they got because of Victor Oladipo, who they got in a trade originally from the Magic. So that was for Serge Ibaka. So they got their star through a whole bunch of trades. Everybody's looking for a star. The Rockets, I wonder, who materializes? Is it going to be Jalen Green, Şengün? Obviously, they both look great. But Banchero and Cade, you can build around those guys. And super excited for the Thunder. Like the Rockets are doing, they have so many athletic guys to go around Shai and Chet. So I think they have the makings of just being good for a long time. So hopefully the Rockets get a star to do that as well.
Next question here from Vic. Do you see a scenario where no team in the Western Conference cracks 50 wins? Vic, I think there's a lot of parity, potential, that we don't even have a 50-win season. Does anyone have a response to this? Is Vic reaching on this one?
The man is reaching.
He's reaching.
The man or woman. The man or woman here is reaching. Vic, it would be hard. That would be very hard to do.
Yeah.
Like the Nuggets are 24-13. They're 37 games in. So if they're 1-3 the next 4 games, they're basically on pace, halfway through the season to be a 50-win team.
Yeah.
But I mean, they'd have to. No, they'd all have to lose to each other, and somebody's got to win games. It just doesn't really make sense.
I went back through Basketball Reference, all the seasons for the last, basically this century, right? So since, 2000. I can only find, when you remove shortened seasons, of course, the lockout and the last couple seasons that we had because of the pandemic and all that, where they took away games, but I can only find one instance where in one conference we only had one 50-win team. Mm-hmm. I couldn't find one over the last 22 plus years where there was none in either conference. And it was, you'll never guess it, but the 02-03 season in the East, we only had one 50-win team, and it was the Pistons at 50-32. And then there was a lot of 49s and 48s and stuff. Yeah.
Bad times in the Eastern Conference in the early 2000s.
Right. And, there's a couple other instances where there's only two 50-win teams in a conference. Usually it's a lot in the East. In the West, there was usually a lot more, but I don't think this is happening here, Vic.
3 teams are on pace to win 50 games right now, so I think there'll probably be 2. As the season goes on, the bad teams that are competitive right now, those are going to be easy wins come March and April. Right. That's how you end up stacking up wins. So yeah, I think we'll get a couple teams.
Yeah. How many?
Respect to Vic's foresight here. The West is filled with parity. There's no doubt. But, yeah, there will be a split at some point.
Do you hope one day one conference, every team will be, I guess every team in the league, both conferences will be 41 and 41, and it will all be decided by tiebreakers.
Parity.
Yeah.
I love that. I love thinking about that.
All right. Sorry, Vic. I don't think it's happening. There's going to be a couple 50-win teams. Not a lot, probably, but it'll be a lot of, we've seen before, 48-win teams, 49-win teams, something like that.
I'll tell you one thing that there's no parity with. These email names that are being sent in. This one from Buddha B.
Well, these are tweets.
Well, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
In today's day and age, their names. Buddha B says, what is your starting 5, quote, most fun players to watch team? From the East, specifically, and from the West. Let's do them both. Then, which team do you think would win a best-of-3 series? All right, a fun team to watch in the East, fun team to watch in the West, and who would win a best-of-3?
Okay, well, I'll give you mine. Just my most fun players to watch from each conference.
Fun times.
This is obviously very, very subjective. These are not the best players in the league, but ones that I want to see play. I did take out some guys that were sort of injured. I took Zion out of the mix just because he picked up this injury. But anyway, I'll start in the East. My most fun team to watch this season. I got Giannis. I got Kevin Durant. I got Kyrie Irving. I got Halliburton. And then I was struggling with my 5th, if I'm being honest. I went with a wild pick for myself, but I love this guy when he's on. Because he's got a dog in him. Jimmy Butler. I went with Jimmy. He's fun.
Of course.
So, Giannis, KD, Kyrie, Tyrese Halliburton, and Jimmy Butler. Okay, that's my East. Please hold your thoughts on who will win a best-of-3 series. In the West, Jokic, Luka, Curry, though I just broke my rule that I said, no injured players, but I'm putting Curry in there. Ja Morant. And then, you know me, I'm a big SGA fan, and I love the way that guy slithers around. So I went with those. The Joker, Luka, Curry, Ja, SGA. Who's winning that battle? I love that it's a best-of-3. Not 1 game, not 5, not 7. Just 3. Which team's better? It's got to be the West.
Yeah, by far. I mean, you're talking Luka, Jokic, Curry, and Ja.
Yeah.
That's 4 MVPs basically.
Yeah, but what about that defense from Giannis and Jimmy Butler?
You're not allowed to play defense in the NBA
no,
anymore.
You're not.
So.
No, you're not. Okay. Anyway, some omissions on your? Or I'm sure there's some other names that
Kuzma?
you enjoy. Kuz, of course, you love him.
I love watching Kuzma. I mean, yeah, you can pick the most famous guys in the league. Those guys are fun. Şengün is on my list. He's one of my 3 most watchable players this year. I got DeRozan over Jimmy Butler, and I've got Embiid over Kyrie Irving.
Okay. Yep. What do you got?
I had Embiid over Kyrie. I think you named them all, the ones I was looking at. That's it. Done. No more fun players in the league. There's a lot of fun players in the National Basketball Association right now. I enjoyed De'Aaron Fox a lot last night. There's a whole bunch, but well done, everybody.
Next one, final one from Jobber99.
Classic.
With NBA players taking better care of their bodies to maximize longevity, is it finally time to bring back the old-timers game? Make it a half court if you have to. Tass, you were talking about All-Star Weekend. You said it's bad now. You said you'd rather watch hockey's All-Star Skills Challenge, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think that's more to do with the NHL Skills Challenge.
Okay.
It's just damn good.
Okay.
But yeah, we could have a free throw missing contest at All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
We could also have the oldies go play. That's a great question from Jobber. And I think you may have to fill out some of the roster with some jobbers. I mean, just with some guys who can run up and down the floor, because I don't think you can fill out full rosters of old guys.
Yeah. They used to do this.
And guys got injured, so they stopped. Tommy Heinsohn's big belly, God rest his soul, was going up and down the floor, pulled a hammy, get him off the floor. So it makes it, but I like Jobber's question here, because guys are just way more conscious of keeping in shape. That being said, 30 minutes in Planet Fitness on the treadmill is a little different than running up and down the floor. But if you pass a fitness test, I think you got to go through a little fitness test to be able to play.
Oh, I should put that on the air too. I like that. Friday night. Old timers fitness test.
Yeah, for the sickos on ESPN2, whatever, you can ESPN News maybe watch that. Sure. I mean, like Ray Allen can go play right now.
Right, like how old?
Yeah, exactly.
What constitutes an old timer?
Mid timers would be easy.
Like
it's called the Big Three. They do it all the time.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't think it would be hard to fill out rosters at all. It's like there's an entire roster at NBA TV of guys who just got out of the league. There's another roster of guys who have their own podcast. There's a whole nother roster of guys who are on the broadcast call. Like, roll Stacey King out there. Let's see if he can play. Stacey King versus Ryan Hollins. Those are a couple of guys who are on broadcast. JJ Redick still looks great. Richard Jefferson was playing in the league like 2 seasons ago. Yep. There's a lot of guys who were just out of the league who could easily go and play.
So yeah, that's.
But would you want to watch that game?
No, I don't watch the Big Three. No, I watch the NBA.
Right. That's smart.
Because those guys we're talking like 40 max. The Big Three guys, like they're around that age. They're young.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But the old timers game was
they were
old.
Well, but I guess this is the point that Jobber's saying. Like
so
20 years ago, felt old. But these guys are, playing so much longer that they're probably still in fairly good condition, and they don't feel as old. But maybe that's me saying that as a 42-year-old.
No, they can get up and down and they can play.
Okay.
You're right. The Jobber's right. They could play. What age are we going here? Even if you go a little older, there's some older guys, like I said, Ray Allen, Reggie Miller cycles up and down mountains in California. Yeah, he can play.
Yeah. Look, they put usually 2 aside in the celebrity game. Like they pick a couple old legends. Pippen's played before, I think.
Yeah.
And
players.
Mullins played. I mean, just off the top of my head here, but so there's guys. It's just the question is, does anybody care to watch the game? I guess maybe because it's been so long, I could see let's see if Ray Allen's still got the 3-point shot. It might be interesting for a half or something, but do it once every 10 years, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Right? I don't think it's needs to be every season.
Ex-players, I like it. That's why I think you got to involve all the people who have their own media empires. That way they can talk trash about it.
Yeah, I like that.
On their podcasts.
Okay, so
nice.
We're getting Gilbert Arenas out there.
Yeah, exactly. Gilbert Arenas talking trash. Oh, JJ Redick couldn't guard me when we were in the NBA. He can't guard me now.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Get the knuckleheads.
Get Steven Jackson. Get Matt Barnes. There's a lot of guys around who are just recently playing.
Create content around the game. Look at that.
They already missed the chance to do my greatest idea. It would have been perfect at NBA 75. Can they still dunk? Get all of the 75 greatest players out there. Let's just see if they can still dunk. You want to see Dr. J dunk at 65? That'd be pretty cool.
It's true. I brought that up with my family over Christmas weekend. Dr. J, walking by him at All-Star Weekend, still looking cool at 60. And the second thing I said was, he dunked at 60.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, everybody loves a guy who can dunk.
You got something there, Jobber99. We're in for at least one year of it. Let's test it out, this old timers game. Half court or not, it doesn't matter. Keep your questions coming, though. Tweet them in at NoDunksInc. Email them in, nodunks@theathletic.com, or drop them in the YouTube comments. Got to take our final break. When we come back, pick them results and tweet of the night.
It's that time of year. Got to be a little carb conscious. We want to keep the pounds off. You know how you do that? Have fun while doing it. You got to start your day off with Magic Spoon, a cereal that's good for the low-carb lifestyle while still feeling like a kid. Magic Spoon has replicated our favorite childhood cereals, but each serving contains 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and 4 to 5 net grams of carbs. Feeling like a kid is also on everyone's resolution list. I see them going on Instagram. Act like a kid again and feel like a kid again. Well, Magic Spoon, they got you. How about flavors like cocoa, fruity, frosted, blueberry muffin, maple waffle, honey nut, cookies and cream, cinnamon roll, and my fave, peanut butter. Like a kid, you won't get bored with so many unique flavors. It's a keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, and soy-free way to relive those moments while watching your favorite cartoons. Did anybody watch cartoons over the holidays break?
Certainly.
No.
Which one?
My Little Pony.
New ones
Good theme
are
song.
classics. I mean, do they make new ones? I guess they do.
Yeah, they're on to the next generation. See you later, Rainbow Dash.
Why? I loved Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash is a classic.
Yeah.
New animation style. They just gotta change it up, Just shake it up.
Anyway, plus, it's only 140 calories per serving. It's like there's magic in every spoonful. I hope My Little Pony doesn't steal that line from Magic Spoon. They could. Head to magicspoon.com/nodunks to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try the magic for yourself. And be sure to use our promo code NODUNKS at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/nodunks and use the code NODUNKS to save $5. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode. Athletic Greens. They got me with the name. I pretend to be an athlete, and I know I need my greens. Done and done. Also, it's a powder, not a pill. I'm not big into the huge horse pill vitamins, as I've said.
Yeah, you hate that.
I know Trey and Skeets were making fun of me. I think it was on New Year's Eve. They're saying, "Oh, you've got a small throat." First thing in the morning, especially first thing in the morning, I don't want a horse pill. It's too early. That's when I'm taking my multivitamin. That's when I'm taking my Athletic Greens. How does a pill go down the wrong tube? How does water go down the wrong tube? That's a question for a scientist out there. How many tubes do you have in your throat? I thought there was just one, but sometimes I have a horse pill venturing in the wrong tube and I don't like it. And recently I figured out how to perfect my Athletic Greens. I was putting the greens directly into the cup, then adding the water. But it was a bit like going by a construction site. There's floating particles everywhere when I was dumping the powder directly into the cup. Now I'm going water, then putting the powder in. It's a nice combo. Things are cleaner in my house, and I'm getting 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help me start my day right. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially during the flu and cold season. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's right. Water first, then the powder. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/nodunks. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/nodunks to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Wow, we are now playing classic ad reads.
TBT.
The classic small throat ad read from our guy Tassie. It's legendary. Pick up results last night. It was that Wizards-Bucks game. Milwaukee, they were the favorites by 8.5 points, so had to win by 9 or more, and they pulled it out in the end. Oh boy, we were watching on playback, living and dying with every final possession. So that's a win again for Trey. You're a perfect in 2023. You're 2-0. I'm 1-1 with that victory, and Tass 0-2. Still looking for your first one here in January. million games on tonight because it's Wednesday, I assume. Yeah.
Big slate tonight. And the Bulls are hosting the Nets in one of the big games, and there's a big line in it. 5.5 points. The Chicago Bulls are getting as the home dog. Can lose by 5 and cover.
Okay, I get trade taking the Bulls. What? Why are you?
5.5 points at home. I'm taking it.
Wow, all right.
A lock.
All right.
I don't care who's playing.
I mean, Nets have won 12 straight, man.
You know,
KD's going to score 58 tonight.
What do you think his over/under is for tonight?
Oh, it's got to be 35 plus.
Go
35
over.
and a half, yeah.
Lot of season highs against the Chicago
Yeah.
Bulls if you're over 6'2". So yeah, I'll be honest with you. I had BKN in there, and I switched up to Chicago. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it to my guys, but I don't know. I've been watching that last 2-minute report. Need something to complain about tomorrow.
All right, hey, look, as we just saw last night, anything can happen in this league. I think a lot of people probably would have had the Celtics steamrolling the Thunder without SGA. Instead, they got 150 put on their head. All right, so the Nets got to win by 6 or more on the road in Chicago. Tweet of the night time.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Yeah, a couple things real quick. First of all, shout out to all of our listeners on Pocket Cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to shout out some of the other third-party apps out there that people listen to. You know, it's not all Podbean. Not all Podbean out there. Number 2, circle back right here. Kevin Durant over/under for tonight, according to BetMGM, 28.5.
Oh, yeah, take the over.
Take it. Take that over.
I mean, I guess your one concern would be if they blow them out. I mean, he only had 25 the other night and then 30 minutes or something. Yeah, okay, but hit the over.
Yeah, Bulls have actually been playing their best basketball of the season right now, so maybe they will keep it close. That'd be nice. But like we said, there was 1 million games on Monday night, also 1 million games on tonight.
Right.
This we missed from a Monday night game. This is a tweet from Jackson Frank, who alerted the internet to a funny ending to the Philadelphia 76ers. James Harden closed out Monday's game, spinning the ball on his finger for like 15 seconds. Joel Embiid offered to take the shot clock violation and turnover, but Harden didn't care about the turnover. They just wrestled for the ball. That's just a funny ending to a game.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Usually it's like, haha, I'll pass you the ball at the very last second. You sucker, now you got a shot clock violation, turnover. But these guys like each other so much that they're fighting over a turnover. Undeniable evidence that the vibes are great in Philadelphia right now. I don't know if you would have said that a month and a half into the season, but Harden and Embiid, they seem to be getting along.
Yep.
Spinning and joking.
That's, by the way, way more disrespectful to the other team than a team like throwing down a fast break dunk on the break.
Yeah.
That's way more disrespectful.
I would have to agree.
Like, we're literally Harlem Globetrotting on your ass here because we beat you. You know? I love it. Don't get me wrong. It's
We're
very
beating
funny.
you so bad, we're arguing over who gets a turnover.
Yeah.
That is bad.
Right. It's like Devontae Graham, like, steps in there. It almost looks like, what should I do here?
Should I fight
Should
you?
I slap the ball away? Should I get it? Do I let him just keep spinning it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Embiid's sort of blocking him so he can't get to it.
Hilarious on both counts. I would say if I was Embiid, I would know that Harden wouldn't give a crap about a turnover, right? Why would Harden care?
Isn't it a shot? Is it a team violation?
Turnover?
Yeah, but it's
I don't
it's a
know.
strange one.
You gotta. Yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't a little bit more of a defender on James Harden. Last night, this is how bad gambling is. Last night, we're watching on playback, 10-point spread, 24 seconds to go, and Milwaukee is dribbling out the clock. The game is over. They're up 10.
Yeah.
But the line was 8.5. So if the Wizards steal the ball and score, the shot clock was off. But I was thinking, play D, because I took the Wizards.
Yeah.
At the same time, gambling is rough, I'll say that, and also don't do it, and also you got to play to the last second. Everybody's got to play to the last second.
We don't even podcast to the last second, man, let alone play a competitive basketball game. We don't. We mail it in the C block all the time. We're doing
I
it
thought
right
you
now.
said the C block's the best block.
Well, it's coming back. It's making a comeback.
Yeah, sometimes it's fourth quarter, man.
This
Who knows?
is a good question. The C block is only good because of the stream team. So we're talking about spinning it on his finger like Harden was. What are like the most disrespectful things or funny things you could do at the end of the game? Gma says, put the ball under your jersey like you're pregnant. Good one. What else?
Instant tech. Tuck in that jersey, son.
I like that one. Let's think of some other ones, like just to
How about
to really be disrespectful at the end of
lay
the game.
down as if the basketball is a pillow?
Sure.
That would be bad. Taking night to the next level.
This would get you a fine, but just straight punt the ball like up in the air.
Oh,
just
yeah.
kick it 20
Yeah,
rows
that's
up.
bad.
Yeah. Globetrotters put it on your right arm, get it over to your left arm.
Yeah.
Go back and forth. Yeah. I would get you a tech or two.
We're gonna need Jerome to Photoshop in a basketball moving across the back of your arms.
Yeah, you send it from you.
Oh, yeah.
Over to Tass to me.
All right.
We'll see how this goes. This is good.
Oh, we're going. Okay.
Yeah, toss it
Ball's
on
right
over.
here, right now. Fake ball.
Yeah, fake ball.
All right. Here we go.
There we go.
So
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Good.
Go to the solo, JD.
You said we don't podcast to the last second, man. Those are classic bits.
Oh, that is great. That's great audio right there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
That's why you got to join us on YouTube, everybody.
That's right.
Fun ending to the show. Thanks again for all the questions, guys. Love the stream team. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Share the show with your friends. Leave your boys a 5-star rating and review if you are a podcast listener. 5-star Friday on the Drop Podcast this week. Let's call it there, though. Back tomorrow to try and recap how many games? 11, 12.
Yeah, many.
Lots. But we'll be here at 10 a.m. Eastern live from the Classic Factory from this box that we put ourselves in every day. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, I was hoping that we weren't going to podcast hard until the last second because I'm tired. As you could tell, I was a little loopy off the top and throughout this show. No sleep last night. A lot of rain. Storms here.
Crack of thunder. Thunder was rolling, eh, Garth? That was loud, man.
Was loud.
I usually sleep like a damn baby. I was up all night last night, being woken up from the storm.
Yeah, hopefully everybody's all right.
Yep.
We go from tornado warnings to flash flood warnings today.
Yeah.
And Georgians, not the best drivers, I'll say that.
Be careful out there.
Yeah, be very careful driving home today. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Embrace the day, people.